All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the unconventional mindset. Man, I am tired. It was a really long night last night. I spent almost, almost all evening and all night fixing up our stuff that we were messing around with on Friday. So we got that fixed up. So we're gonna get to that in a second. But anyways, Kevin, how you doing? Welcome. I got you. Oh, I didn't start my comments. Monday starting off on the rough foot. Here we go. Let's see. Is that loading? Is that going to load? I have a feeling if I don't start the comments before I start the stream, sometimes there's issues. Oh, there we go. We're still good. All right. Yes. Monday fun day. Yeah, no kidding. All right. So, right. My name's Odum, and this is, the unconventional mindset, where we get together every Monday through Friday and we live stream our process of trying to build ourselves a company that's going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. And what we do today on Mondays, well, I guess this is kind of a new thing that we're starting, is we just do kind of a weekly business check-in or check-up on what happened over the previous week and see if there's anything that we can kind of learn from what we did last week. And so I have this here in Figma. It's not full screen. What's going on here? Do I need to... There we go. Now we're full screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think I need to maybe even play around with like where my image is in the picture of myself or whatever, make myself a little bit smaller or whatever on screen. Anyways, we'll figure all that stuff out. But here we go for last week, July 15th to July 28th. Okay, so as always, our primary goal is to increase our annual revenue to $1 million. That's our thing. And that's not going to change, until we get there. And of course, we have 3 revenue streams. We have our web design and development agency, where people just come to us and say, hey, we need a website, whatever. And then we do the work. And then there's also website subscription services. So if you want any kind of ongoing support with your websites, then we get revenue that way as well too. And of course, the thing that we're working on quite a bit over this year is our Pixel Pieces membership, which is our WEBFLOW template and component library. We can pay $249 and get access to all of the components that we're building. And kind of breaking down our short and medium term goals. I don't know if I might take a look at this in about a week or two to see if there's anything we need to change. But one of the primary things that we're kind of working on here in the next few months is I really want to start marketing Pixel Pieces. And for me to really be confident in doing that, I want to make sure that I have 100% confidence in making sure everything works exactly as I want it to be. Because I've been making a lot of videos using Pixel Pieces and showing it how I use it in my own workflow for my clients. And there's a few things that are bothering me, and I want to make sure that it's up to code and up to speed for me. So therefore, it'll be good. I'll be confident in getting out there to the public for everyone. And of course, with that, we want to have our first 100 paid members, or 10 paid members, which would be really nice. And we want to get 100 people joining for free. And we want to just increase the number of components that we have in our library. We want to launch our product hunt. And we're thinking about holding a web design contest for who can build the best website using Pixel Pieces, which would be kind of fun. So that's still on the template, on the what is it like on the menu? I don't know. Anyways, so what did we work on last week? So, hang on, Kevin. I had an idea for you. Set up a Zap to post to Twitter each time you go live using WEBFLOW hashtags so people can find you. That's actually a really good idea. And I was thinking we could even do that for Discord as well too. But I mean, because I do want to set up some kind of like Discord live stream channel so that if there's any discussions about the live stream or things that I can do or whatever, we can do that. Okay, so that'll be cool. So with the hashtag of WEBFLOW, I'll put that down here and actually something to work on this week. Or should we put it in Asana? Anyways, we'll put it somewhere. Okay, so what did we work on last week? So we updated Pixel Pieces to showcase our new template that we built, so that you can go on Pixel Pieces right now and you can download the template, or you can click the link to download the template. It's free, of course. Just host it on like the WEBFLOW website, or WEBFLOW. What is it actually called? I don't know, the template community or whatever it is. What the hell is it called? The marketplace. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, engaging on Twitter and Discord. So Kevin, going on to your idea here, I need to start that. Still haven't done that yet. Build 92, pretty specific. I want to get to 250 components. So I started working on that, but haven't finished. I'm 12% done, just kind of putting a little bit of a number on how far I am to go. In terms of engaging with our current members, and getting feedback on the product. So haven't done anything with that yet. So we have 61 members on our newsletter. So there's people that are free and that aren't newsletters. So I would like to engage with those people as well too. So just haven't gotten around to that. Add ability to filter through existing components. So that was, I would say this took up most of our time last week. And we're about 90% there. And after we finish this, we'll probably just go into the last little bits here just so you guys can see kind of where we're at with that. And then within Figma itself, I'm actually designing each component within Figma. So that way, number one, we'll have a Figma file that people can download so they can have access to all the components in Figma if they wanted to just do whatever it is that they'd want to do with that. But it'll also allow me to get better screenshots and consistent screenshots for all the components that are going to be put onto pixel pieces. So that's what took up the majority of the time last week. There was also we'll talk about that in a second, actually. Okay, so let's move on from there. Where we go next? Okay, so I took out a couple pages for in terms of metrics here because not too much has changed. But we'll just go over with this here in terms of the revenue for the agency and Pixel Pieces. Again, no change here from last week. Still kind of the same thing where we get $28.50 in recurring revenue for our agency. And this is the total revenue that we've made and to date this year. So again, a lot less than last year, but we've been really focusing on building out Pixel Pieces. And in terms of social metrics and analytics, just with YouTube and some of our social stuff, a little bit more watch time and some views on YouTube, which is nice to see. And in terms of the newsletter subscribers and Discord members, that has stayed the same. So in terms of insights from last week, so the primary thing that was a takeaway from last week is that whenever I have to do anything with like custom code, because it's been so long since I've done it and I generally haven't been in that space in a while, it takes a lot of time for me to do that. And I think it takes too much time. And I've been thinking about this a long time about what it's going to take for me to be able to bring on my first employee or partner or whatever you want to call it. I guess it would depend on what the arrangement ends up being. But I think I would like to get somebody sooner rather than later. So I've been really thinking about how I can do that. And so last week, I think I mentioned it sometime on my stream, I got in contact just organically. This is point number 2 here. Somebody was looking for somebody that could develop a website, but also had understanding of data visualization, especially scientific data visualization. And that's of course, my wheelhouse. That's what I've been involved in for a long, long time. And so I don't have a meeting with them yet. This is not scheduled till the beginning of August, but it's a pretty good lead, and I could end up being a pretty large project, which would be really, really nice. So I've just been really thinking about how I could move forward here to fund the work on Pixel Pieces, and maybe I should try to focus on getting these clients on Pixel, which is just my agency, and using that, to bring on somebody else to help me with the development of Pixel Pieces. So that's kind of what I've been thinking of. And the idea is, how can I focus my marketing that it can maybe even benefit both? Because at the end of the day, if I'm putting out content on teaching people, how to make websites, how to build websites and all that kind of stuff, with the audience in mind, maybe if I shifted a little bit to thinking about people that are entrepreneurs or people that are new to business that want to figure out how they can make their own website on their own, those could be my potential clients, which can go into Pixel, which I just redid to make it maybe more appealing to people that are just starting out to have a cheaper price point, right? Because it's $3,000 for a website. So I'm thinking maybe I could focus that way. And then of course, with that, I think we could catch some people that would be interested in Pixel Pieces as well too. So again, I'm just trying to kind of think about how we can be as efficient as we possibly can with the limited amount of time that I have on a day-to-day basis in terms of what we're going to do for marketing. So with that being said, it's still something to think about. But this week, there's going to be a lot of kind of cleanup stuff to do here. The new filtering capability for the components, I want to push that to production this week. Again, engaging on Twitter and Discord. I think that's going to be on there for a while to make sure I can figure out how I want to do that. We still want to get up to 250 components. And in terms of Figma, I want to continue to design the existing components and as well, of course, the new components in there so that we can update all the screenshots of the existing components in pixel pieces. Again, I want to see if I can engage with our current subscribers. This one I think we can get done this week once we get this new filtering capability launched, because we can also use that to engage with them. Say, hey, we got this new feature on pixel pieces. I'd love it for you to check out, et cetera, et cetera. And then along with what I was talking about in terms of creating content, just start to think about what kind of schedule that I can set myself up for to make sure that like every day I can spend, 4 hours creating the content or whatever the case may be, and what type of content it's going to be, and how to make sure that I can consistently push it out on social media, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, whatever the case may be, right? So that's what we're really going to work on this week. So that's pretty much the recap for things that have been going on last week. And Kevin, I'm just going to write this down here. I'm going to write it down on my notepad here. Come on, stupid thing. So just automate when we are live. Yeah, that would be really, really cool. Oh yeah, and right, and just hashtag WEBFLOW. Especially if I'm doing something, I guess we'd have to almost, well, that's actually an interesting point, is if I'm not doing anything on WEBFLOW, then we don't really want to hashtag WEBFLOW. So we might want to do different hashtags for different things, like depending on what we're talking about. Or maybe I could just take the title on YouTube and put a hashtag there. Oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. Like if it's like more just doing business talk, maybe it's, I don't know, hashtag business talk. I don't know. Again, I have to learn. Twitter for sure. Okay, so what I want to go with right now is, I guess let's go into WEBFLOW and let's look at the stuff that we were messing around with on Friday, which was causing all kinds of problems. Okay, although we kind of fixed it, so it's kind of good. So what we were doing, okay, so here's pixel pieces and here is the component page. So what we ended up doing is we created this filtering capability, and whenever you click on something to filter, it refreshes the DOM elements. And with our old script that we're using in order to have the right copy code in each of these buttons, there was an issue because we were setting the variables when the page would load, and then when there would be any changes, we weren't, like, everything was binded to what was there when the page originally loaded. So whenever we do any changes, it would just make everything go completely out of whack. So I could actually just bring up the code here, and we can kind of take a look at the old code versus the new code. So this is the old code, right? So whenever the page loaded, we define all these variables here, which is our list, which is the list of all the components which would load up in the DOM, and then the copy buttons, and then the code snippet. And then we just iterate through that list and then assign these variables to each one of those items, right? And then whenever there was a click, we would be able to go ahead and, click the copied or whatever, send the information to Mixpanel, and then of course send over the we'd add, where do we add the actual? Oh, here we go. Just in here, I added the event, this event listener. This would actually take the code snippet, which would be set here, into the clipboard, and then people would be able to cut and paste. So that, that worked very well. But of course, whenever you change the DOM, then all of this stuff this whole list would be completely out of whack. So instead of trying to figure out how to make this work, I just started over the weekend just kind of redoing everything from scratch. And so I came up with this new code, which I think it gets us like 99% there. There's a few things, because I'm not a JavaScript guy. There's a few things that I'm not sure exactly what to think about it, but it works so far in all my testing like 100% of the time. So that's good. So basically I started with this piece of code. I'm just like, okay, well, let's just figure out whenever you click on a copy button to just go search for the right code, right? So we have this here. So when you click on copy component, which is just the button, it just finds the closest item, which is the component item, which is the div which contains all the information of every single component. And then we get all the stuff. So we get the code, we get the copy text, and then we get the title, right? And then we take the code snippet and we just parse it. And then we have the same thing where we execute this copy functionality. And then that goes to this thing right here. And it copies stuff with the code snippet and then puts it into the clipboard. So one of the things I was really struggling with over the weekend, probably on Friday as well too, is that you can't, if you have code, even if it's JSON code, there's a new form of putting stuff into clipboard. I think it's, what is the property? Shoot, I can't remember what it is now. I think, shoot. So let me just, I'm sorry, I'm doing a quick search here. Oh yeah, it was like navigator.clipboard. So let's see if we can find it here. Right. So there's this thing here where you can navigator.clipboard, and then you could just put in stuff and add in whatever you want, like the content into the clipboard. But the problem is that you can only put in, I think you can put in text and you can put in some images, but you couldn't put in JSON objects. So I was playing around with that for quite a while. I was getting a little bit frustrated and stuck. But then I remembered that the reason why it's this event.clipboard data.set data and application JSON, there's some kind of security risk or whatever within browsers which don't allow you to add things to the clipboard in like a JSON format. So you kind of have to use this old way of doing things. And I think I read somewhere where it's not really going to be supported anymore, something like that. I don't know, but it still works now. So maybe it's something we'll have to deal with in the future. But so we had to maintain this. So, but this still works. So we finally got this to work. So yeah, you click on the button, you do all this stuff, send the stuff to Mixpanel, whatever, change the button text. So that kind of stuff is all pretty much the same. I just have to do a little bit different because I wrote it, some stuff like JavaScript instead of like jQuery. I don't know. It's just kind of a little bit weird. But yeah, so everything goes when you click on the button. So the thing that we added here is we're going on this on Friday. I was learning a little bit about this. Is this whole mutation observer. So basically, whenever we do any kind of filtering or there's page before or next or whatever, it updates the DOM, right? And basically, what I do here is just we create this mutation observer object, I guess. I don't know, or instance. I don't know exactly the terminology here. But we create this from this new mutation observer. And I don't even know if we need this mutation list in here because I don't think I'm using it for anything. But anyways, so basically we set this timeout thing where I want to set a timeout of like 0.1 seconds because sometimes, like every time there's a new component that gets loaded up, that's one recorded observation from this mutation observer. So sometimes if I go next to another page, there'd be like 50 new mutations. And basically, so basically what I want to do is every time there's a mutation that's observed, I want to just like call this function. And then hopefully that just kind of like resets all the variables and resets everything. And so it's kind of like fresh to go with the new DOM. And then whenever you click on something, it like can find out where it is, in the DOM, right? So, but I was doing it every single time there was mutation, which is causing all kinds of problems. So, but anyway, setting this timeout feature seemed to have fixed pretty much all the bugs. And we'll kind of show it in a second. I was just putting some stuff for the console log in here. So, and then we just kind of reset it to null after it does it the one time. And then we just call this parent thing where it's actually looking for where it's going to look for mutations. So it's only going to look for mutations within the class of the app collection items, which is just the whole div that all the components are laid out in. And then it's just looking for a child list. So anything like inside of it, which is the divs that are being added or removed, just look for that. And that's it. And then, yeah, and then just here's the copy component. Here's the main function. Right. So yeah, so that's it. So that's the code. And everything seems to be working fine. So if we refresh this, if we go onto our console here, we can see whenever I copy something, it's spitting out. I just have some stuff that's spitting out here, but you can see the actual object right here. And if we just go into it, if we just go into the styles, here are all the styles for all the accordion. So this is like the WEBFLOW object, and which is really cool. So you can kind of see all the information that's onto the clipboard. And yeah, and then just spitting out some other stuff too, just to make sure that everything is okay. And if we click on any other one, benefits 1, we can see it right there. So everything's working. And then now here's where everything is working very nicely. So when I clicked on next, I just have this copy component function called. That's just saying that there's a mutation that was observed. And if we go to copy, we can see here that layout 18 has been copied. But there's a thing here where there's a null thing that's actually been reported, which is console log of code snippet. So there's something that's still in the memory of the function. I really don't know what's going on, but because we can see here, if I go, whoops, we want to bring up the console still. So if we start to filtering and we filter elements by button, and if I click copy here for this layout, you can see again, there's these 2 null objects that are still here. And again, I'm not sure exactly what is going on with that, but either way, I mean, layout 1 was copied. And pricing table 5, again, there's these kind of these 2 null objects. Why is it? I don't know. Maybe because there's been 2 mutations. If we filter again, there's another mutation. And then if I try to copy this one, now there's 3 null objects. So I'm not sure exactly how to reset that, but everything is working fine, right? So if I go to copy 1, it's there. You can see right here that in this, in the clipboard, we actually have our correct object, which is our hero 1. These are all the classes that are in there. And if we just go into our cut and paste just to make sure, we paste it there. Here's our hero 1. So everything is looking like it's working quite nicely, which I'm super, super happy about. Which took, I think I was up till like 3 o'clock last night getting this done. I think I worked from like 9 to 3, so it took like 6 hours. But one of the biggest things that was really, really annoying is that I was working on it through this actual interface and not having something set up locally. So it's really kind of annoying when you have to make a change here, then you have to publish it, and then you have to take a look there. So if I could have just I should have probably set up a local environment where I actually just duplicated the structure for what these items look like, and then work on things locally. But anyways, whatever. What's done is done. But everything is working nicely, and yeah, that's it. So that's a new code. So at some point, I mean, I don't think this code is. If you're a JavaScript person and you're looking at this, yeah, you're probably going to cringe, I would imagine, and you're probably going to tell me all the different ways that this could be done a million times better. And I'm definitely happy to to take all that. Like if you want to let me know what we can do to make this cleaner, by all means, please let me know. Rolando, hey, how's it going? Welcome. Happy Monday. How you doing today? Check out Kevin Geary's latest 2 videos. I think that would be the perfect way to promote your components. Let me write that down. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that. Excellent. All right. So there's a few things that I know that I kind of want to fix. They're not the biggest issues as well too, but obviously we're going to clean up all of these actual, let me zoom this in, this is probably really small. We're going to clean up all these actual checkboxes as well to make them really, just styled the way that we want to. But one thing that I've noticed is that this filter here is a drop down, but when you click out of it, like say I want to copy this one, it closes the drop down immediately. Yeah, you get the copied thing and everything, which is fine. But I think I would like this drop down to stay open so that when somebody opens it, then they could go ahead and start doing whatever it is that they want to do and still have it just remain open, right? So I wonder if we can go real quick here, because I think this is the drop down here. If we look at settings, I think there's something that we can do. I thought there was something that we can do here. They are about to create a web page dynamically and use its own components. Yeah, so I think I haven't seen the videos at all, but that's one of the things. That's what I was working on some of my videos, was how to use pixel pieces to create these specific pages or whatever within WEBFLOW. And I was making those videos, and as I was saying, I was using pixel pieces, and there were some issues that made it harder than it needed to be. And that's why I was like, okay, I just want to make sure that I make pixel pieces 100% how I want it to be. So that way, when I make my content and I make my videos, everything just works, right? And everything works super smooth. And I could show you like, hey, this is how you can trim off 90% of your time building websites and building web pages using pixel pieces. So I think that type of content is going to be super, super awesome. And I'm looking forward to making it and releasing it for sure. So I like that. Okay. So how do we, this drop down, so close delay. So I think, where are the interactions? Is it in here? Is it built? I think the drop downs are almost designed to close automatically when you don't click inside them, right? So if you open on hover, I don't think we really want that, because that'll just open it automatically, then it'll just close. Yeah, so we don't want that behavior. That's brutal. So we want to keep it open unless you click on the actual button. So what about interactions? We can do drop down opens and we could do a drop down closes. Well, we'll just have to do a new animation. Maybe we're going to have to do some kind of JavaScript thing. Or we have to do something that's not an actual drop down. Maybe we just have to do something that's custom for us, and then we'll do an interaction of open and close. I think that's what we're going to have to do, actually. And I think what we can do is we could mimic what we have when we're looking at we're going to go to navigation. Something like this, right? Where that drop down stays. See, I'm clicking outside and it just stays open, and you have to click here to close it. So I think this is what we're going to want to build, or just basically copy this from here. So we'll probably do that. I think that'll work better. What do you guys think in terms of the usability, right? I think that makes the most sense. At least it does for me. So yeah, you click filter, you want to start filtering, and you want to click. You don't want it to close like that. yeah. And that's it. Once we have that, then we're done. I guess and we need to go into the actual database and make sure everything else is actually assigned to the right element and everything. But other than that, that's good. So that's where we are with Pixel Pieces. So I just kind of wanted to share that, all the work I did to make sure that was that the code was rewritten so that we can get this functionality out the door, because I think it's really, really important. So that's good. So super happy. And Sam, super happy for your help as well too on Friday. And it was very helpful for me to kind of help start pointing me in the right direction in terms of what to think about, in terms of how to get this thing working and how to get the problem solved. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. So yeah, Monday's going to be a little different, because I think I'll cut it maybe a little bit shorter, because we're just going to talk about, how things went last week, and just think about how things are going to go over this week as well. So I think I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to finish all the stuff that I want to finish here on Pixel Pieces. I'll do that over the next couple of days, kind of behind the scenes. And then we'll get together and we'll figure out our whole marketing plan and our marketing strategy and how we should go. And actually, I do have one question to ask you guys. I know I've asked this before. I don't know if I should do this. So I have everything set up back here to have a podcast. And my idea is to go around the local community here. And I know I could already get a bunch of people lined up to come on the podcast to start this out. And basically just have it as an entrepreneurial type podcast where we talk to people that are running their own businesses, and we get their insights and tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. And we see where they're at, and we just learn from each other, I guess. Is that something that's going to be helpful for me for marketing? Now, my idea, of course, is that I think that would be really good to help me get myself out there in the community as someone that builds websites for people. So, if local entrepreneurs, especially if I could really at least initially focus it on, hey, Halifax, business or what have you, focus the podcast on that, then that could help draw in attention from our local businesses here. And if a lot of people that are in business start saying, hey, this is the guy that does stuff about websites, maybe that can help me generate a lot more business for Pixel, for my main Pixel site. Let me bring this up here. Right? So where I'll be looking at getting some clients where I could build websites for them. I guess on the cheap, at least for me anyways, at $3,000 for smaller websites. But of course, if they want something bigger, more custom, then we could definitely have chats with that. But that could be a way for me to promote Pixel here. So I've been thinking about that. I'm not sure exactly if it's something that I should be spending my time on, because that's going to be basically like a day out of the week of spending time getting people, guests, and interviewing them and recording the podcast, all that kind of stuff, right? But it could be a good way to help market Pixel anyways. And then I could spend the rest of the time making videos to market for Pixel/Pixel Pieces. Anyways, I'd be very interested to hear what your thoughts are on that, because it's one of those things where I'm not sure. And again, I'm worried about spreading myself too thin. But I know from a lot of you guys have said too, like having a podcast would be really, really good as well. And that's just another piece of content too that I can use to put things out there. And I think what's really great about a podcast is that you can have the people that are on as guests help you promote that podcast, because they're going to want to tell all their friends about it, right? So, and if I'm getting lots of businesses locally, that'll just help me get more well-known, I guess, locally, I guess you can say. Because again, I haven't done like basically any marketing at all here locally. So anyways, just something I'm thinking about. If you have any comments on that, please do let me know. Let me know what your opinions are. That'd be pretty helpful. And again, don't be shy. I have very thick skin. Nothing you say. If you tell me I'm being an idiot or telling me like, why didn't you do this sooner? Whatever the case may be, just let me know. Okay, so that's about it today. So it's a little bit late, so I do need to get running here because we do have to do some stuff here with the kids and with the family, get ready for supper and all that fun stuff. But anyways, we'll be back tomorrow with a more probably longer live stream once we get back to our regular scheduled time and I could recover from staying up till 3 a.m. doing some JavaScript stuff. So thank you so much for joining. Kevin, Rolando, thank you very much for your feedback as well and your ideas. Very duly noted, and looking forward to finally getting on the horse with pushing forward on my daily marketing stuff. So hopefully that can come sooner rather than later. All right, guys, take care. Have a great rest of your day. And of course, I'll be back here with another live stream on Monday. See you then. On Monday, on tomorrow. Today's Monday. I'll see you on the next day, which is Tuesday. All right. That's enough for me.